What's going on, guys? Detached here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some new updates to discuss, so let's jump in and see what Bungie brought for us this week. Okay guys, in this video I wanted to focus on a massive Crimson Days leak. And I'm not talking about the ornaments for the few exotic weapons we've seen over the last few weeks. Basically, what was dropped for us today was confirmation that Crimson Days is actually going to happen, as well as the introduction of some new PvP modes, including a sudden death mode, which sounds pretty interesting. Along with that are coming new rewards, Crucible medals, and a whole bunch of other items to look at as well. Now, for the legitimacy of this leak, if you look at the image right here, then you can see all these images have been found from within the game files. These look to be very consistent across the board as to what we would expect to see. You can see that the Crimson Days Crucible icon on the left with the double swords and Crucible logo right here are pretty close to what we've seen in past. Plus, we've got Crimson Days engrams, loot boxes, and a host of other items, and of course this is going to include the Eververse, but I'll talk about that in just a bit. This actually came from a user on Reddit called Ginser, who found all of this information inside the PC version of the game. Now, if you are new to Destiny 2 and you're wondering what Crimson Days is, basically it's a Valentine's event which was themed around playing doubles in Destiny 1 originally when it first came out, but this event called Crimson Doubles that we got that was basically themed around partnering up, going into the Crucible, playing matches, and if your partner died, you ended up getting a buff that increased a lot of your different skills. It was rather fun, but all in all the event was rather broken. But we're probably going to see something very similar return in Destiny 2 with a bunch of exclusive loot to be had as well. They have even pulled info out on the script lines as well, which basically these are going to surround around the quest steps inside of those Crimson Day events that we're getting. So here we get to see some of the actual script lines that the Reddit users have pulled out from the game. Guardians honor the unbreakable bonds they forge on and off the battlefield by competing in the Crucible's Crimson Days Festival. First, follow the rose petals in the tower to Tess Eververse. She has got something for you. Plus, we have more lines that seem to speak towards the modes we're going to be getting for the event. Speak to Shaxx in the tower to learn more about his love for Crimson Days. Shaxx congratulates you and your Crimson Bond on battles hard fought and victories hard won during Crimson Days, and offers a very handsome reward with his inspiring words. We've also got complete Crimson Days Crucible matches, complete Crimson Days matches to earn holiday-themed rewards, and win a Crimson Days match in Sudden Death. So there is a direct reference to a brand new game mode we've never seen called Sudden Death, which honestly it sounds pretty cool. So if you take a look at a bunch of the images that came from this leak, you can tell we've got what looks like a new icon for a game mode, which is this skull with the 4 swords pointing inwards. So what this icon could be for really, or what the game mode Sudden Death could be, is going to be very interesting, as typically the swords signify how many players can be part of that game mode. Like the Crimson Days doubles sign that we had in Destiny 1 and what we're getting in Destiny 2, it has got 2 swords that surround the Crucible side, so it's obvious we're going to be getting some new modes in this event. Plus, we can also see we have a new emblem here, which looks like this one's going to be able to track the number of opponents defeated within Crimson Days matches. Also, if you were wondering about the exotic ornaments, there will be a new ornament for the Prometheus Lens, the Graviton Lance, one for the Wardcliff Coil, and one for the Sweet Business. Now, we've seen the loot boxes and other items that drop from events like this, and just like the Dawning, it's going to be tied to the Eververse. I'm all for new game modes and events just like this, as sudden death sounds pretty interesting, but from the loot aspect of events like this being tied to Eververse, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, as Bungie has promised they are going to change things on that front. But we also have to remember that this event, just like the Dawning, was designed along the same timeline that the Curse of Osiris DLC was, and the Eververse changes have not been made yet, so it's easy to say those methods we saw during the Dawning are going to exist in the Crimson Days event, as Bungie hasn't made those fixes. Needless to say, we absolutely can't have any more events that run and operate like the Dawning did. There's got to be some changes there. Assuming those changes are done correctly, I think events like the Dawning and Crimson Days would be completely awesome and well worth your time. Now, in looking towards the end of this week and Bungie's updates, we know this Thursday we should be getting a pretty major update with new information, as Bungie has spoken about in-game changes, additions to the game, re-itemization, and conversations about the Eververse updates. Bungie did also say they are working on getting updates out to all of the information they have gathered over the holiday seasons as soon as possible as well, and the community has got huge expectations for this update that we're supposed to see Thursday, and actions speak louder than words. So it's now up to Bungie to prove all of this and what they're actually working on back to the community. So there we go, guys. There are the quick updates from Bungie, and to let you know that we are receiving a brand new event called Crimson Days and the info surrounding around it, which means we're getting that event and some brand new content which could, if done correctly, be a pretty positive set over the next month for the community. But that's up to Bungie and how they present it. So let me know your thoughts, guys. If you've enjoyed the video, a like is very much appreciated. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see more Destiny 2 content. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and as always, you all stay awesome, and I will see you next time.